All right, well, I'm here on day 4 of Blister Summit 2023 with Thomas Laakso, and we are here to talk DPS skis. So please, let's get into it. But Thomas, please introduce yourself and give us a bit of background with your role with DPS.
Great. Well, this has been a fantastic week, and it's been so fun. Never skied Crested Butte. I consider myself a passionate skier, and I'm embarrassed to say that I've never been here. So it was just ski the banana chute and time that opening, and nice mountain you have here. But I'm the VP of Product and Operations at DPS Skis. I've been with the company for about 5 years now, and we are headquartered in Salt Lake City, Utah. That's where our factory is, our office is. It's all in one spot there, and lived in Colorado a long time ago, and it's fun to be back.
Awesome. Well, we're really glad to have you. And of course, you hit Crested Butte on some of the best conditions. I know we both skied powder this morning, so it's pretty ideal.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, let's get into what you guys have new going on for 23-24. And I know that's the form of an entire new lineup. So let's get into it.
Yeah, we sometimes launch new constructions and new shapes. This year, we kind of did both. We bit off a lot. We introduced a brand new model called the Kaizen 105 and the Koala 111. We haven't made those before. I'm really excited about those new models, but the construction is across the whole line. So we have a Kaizen 100, a 105, and a 112 that are also a 117 and 124. But the bulk of the line are those three models behind me. And it's another big step towards harnessing the power of carbon, but making it planted and confidence inspiring. And it's been a long journey for DPS to do things kind of the hard way. A, building skis in North America. B, using carbon fiber, not for weight, really for power transmission. And we feel that there's a skier looking for something that's not just like a Cadillac. There's a lot of good skis out there. And if you like that kind of really, really super damp, I would say borderline boring, if I could say that. But we're trying to continue to have excitement through the power of carbon, but doing it with a really planted feel. And that's what Kaizen, last couple of years, we had a huge step forward with the Pagoda technology. At Pagoda, you can imagine layering different layers. We have our really unique carbon fiber, and then we went to a wood, like a dual wood core. So we use a lot of different species. Dissimilar materials will cancel different vibrations, but we also, not only do we build a core with dissimilar materials across a width, but also across the depth. So we have two cores, basically. And what we learned with some really fun exploration is what can we do with that core that really, really quiets that carbon down? And I like to say, we created kind of a marshmallow in the middle. So we have our two cores, but in the middle, the shear plane at the centroid is where you want some things to be kind of absorbing. That's the best place to be damping a ski, is right there between the two carbon fiber facings in the middle of the core. So that's the biggest difference in between Pagoda and Kaizen. The second big thing is ash is a really, really dense wood. And we built some pure ash skis, and they were hilarious. They were like just kind of like I don't know, it felt like concrete almost. But we learned from that, and so the entire base of the ski that's in contact with the snow, you have your base and then your carbon fiber, and then right next to that is a full layer of ash. You build baseball bats out of that. And our skis have to last 10 years. I mean, you're investing in a DPS ski, and we have the most expensive top sheets and carbon fiber for infinite fatigue life, and those bases, they need to last as long. So we have a super hard 4000 series base in all of our skis, and then right next to that is a really dense ash.
Interesting. Yeah, well, it's good to hear you speak a bit about some of the unique things that DPS does with ski construction, and then how that has sort of evolved into this new Kaizen lineup. When it comes to the carbon fiber, where is that actually positioned throughout the ski?
It's interesting. We give tours quite a bit at our factory, and when you show how a ski is made, and a lot of people don't understand what a sandwich construction looks like, and you need your fibers in different orientations along the ski. It's not just along the length of the ski. There's 45-degree angles for carrying some of the torsional loads, and there's a number of different fiber orientations in there. But basically, right underneath the top sheet and right underneath the base are 2 pure carbon fiber laminates that have different fiber orientations, and then you have your core in the middle. 2 cores, I like to say, like in that Kaizen and Pagoda lineup.
Yeah, it's certainly unique. And I guess you spoke and mentioned that you're not utilizing carbon fiber to reduce weight. And so I think that's probably a big thing that people misinterpret is like, oh, you're doing that to make it a lighter ski. But maybe just describe what some of the characteristics that you kind of aim for when it comes to using carbon fiber.
Great question, because our touring line, yes, we are using it to optimize weight and power, but mass can be your friend in the frontside line, and Kaizen and the Lotus. We're actually been adding weight, and that's been interesting. Just as you are going through certain, crud and deflections, mass can be your friend, and where you use it. So imagine in a turn also. As you're loading up this spring, you want to find that balance of actually, we think it's fun to be able to throw your skis over across your body and have some energy in them. Mm-hmm. If that ski is just too forgiving, too damp, too just mushed out, it's a different type of skiing, and a lot of people like that. And great, that's for you. But I think that balance of entering a turn is I think sometimes the necessary part. I really like the exit of a turn, and that's where you can find playfulness and being able to find that energy. Mm-hmm. And so we spend a lot of time on the Kaizen line talking about that. The Koala line is completely different, and what you're looking for in a playful ski. We'll talk about that a little later.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So in the meantime, maybe just mention a bit more as far as maybe shape and also what who the Kaizen line is built for.
Just a little bit behind the name. We're a manufacturer, and we're always looking for just subtle but important steps forward, and that's kind of been the ethos of our factory and of our employees, and it's just constant forward progress. And we've talked a lot with Blister here. We cannot launch a technology without it being something significant step forward, and not just changing a graphic or a very subtle change. Kaizen is that next level up in performance and excitement. The 105 that I want to focus on is sure we've had a 106 in the line for a long time, and 105 is that innovation. Not in terms of looking at that footprint, but we've been focused on our RP, long ago the Whaler RP or the 100 RP, the 112 RP is our resort powder kind of shaping philosophy, where we have a 15-meter side cut underfoot, very stiff underfoot, but a powder shape in the tips and tails, and that leaves a fairly short contact on those, and it's kind of like a little fighter ship. It's just rotating, shifting through the trees, and arcing on hard snow when the powder's gone. If that's your style, we have the 100 and the 112. We've had another shape called the C2, which was a longer contact length, a longer side cut, but it was a little bit, styles of skiing have changed. That was kind of our, if you know how to make a turn, you can tip it over, that it's a classic GS ski almost. But a lot of us have evolved as species and as skiers to be a little bit more upright, and also the acceptance level of what that mid fat can do. 105 has to ski hard snow, has to ski powder and crud. Our 106 was, I would say, a great hard pack aggressive ski, and we wanted to kind of expand that mid-fat to do more than that. So it has a 19-meter side cut. It still has some of that fairly healthy rocker in the tip and tail. The mounting point's a little farther forward as we evolve. And today I was talking to some testers, and I almost think you should like one or the other. If you're a 15-meter, you want tight, really agile and slashy, then that the 100 and the 112 might be your ski. The 105 is I hate using that one ski quiver piece, but it'll ski hard snow and it'll ski soft snow, and it's got to have that powder tip and tail, but a very I could lay my hip on the snow and just arc on that 19-meter side cut.
Gotcha. Catering to a bit different skiing styles, but also, maybe if you're looking for something that's maximally versatile versus something on either end.
Yeah. Today was a great example of, we skied new snow in the morning, and now it's a lot of cut up. And if I'm lucky where I have a couple pairs of skis, maybe a couple more, but if I was traveling to Colorado here, that 105 would be my go-to.
Well, that's a great introduction and gives a bit of background into the design of the Kaizen line. Now maybe just walk us through each ski and what we're looking at here.
Great. The orange one, very classic DPS color palette, and we want them to be timeless. Part of our mantra is durability, performance, and sustainability. Like, we've been innovating in each of those, and it's almost like that's what DPS stands for. The performance of that Kaizen 100, it is in that RP kind of chassis, and we're calling it more rockered and directional. So moving away a little bit from the RPC2, but that 100 has the 15-meter side cut, and we offer it in 189 and 184, 179, 5 sizes all the way. We have gone to interesting the debate if you're making women's skis or men's skis, and we were building skis for skiers and offering it in 2 colors. Like, we don't care which one you choose, but it's interesting. The people, it was more like a 80-20. People were like, that's the winner, and I want that ski. So we're cutting that down. It's offered in orange, and the one color for both men's and women's, and a full size assortment. The yellow one is the 112. That one put us on the map 15 years ago. The banana ski, it's very iconic. It does have some subtle changes over time now. Not only the construction, but that ski did ski pretty short. It's 112 underfoot, and with that pretty aggressive rocker lines. We dropped that tail just a little bit. We did it in the touring line, just if you're carrying bigger packs and just getting some wheelie bars there, and especially, you should be able to ski. That 179 kind of skied like a 171 almost. And so we dropped that tail, and we really liked it, so we applied that to the front side line in the Kaizen 112. So there's a little bit different turn characteristics out of the turn. There's a little bit more kick there, and it skis a little bit more true to length.
Excellent. And is just to touch on the sort of unisex approach you guys have taken to building skis and offering just a broader size range. I imagine that's true of the 112 as well.
Absolutely, and it's been a good balance. I mean, there's been some really classic women's, like the pink one that we had, and maybe we'll bring that one back with some. We do a lot of fun things in our Dreamtime during July, and we'll launch some unique colors and things like that. But the bulk of the line is as you see it, and then that new model, the Kaizen 105, with this split core technology. All of these, the Kaizen have that split core with the really high shear and ash layers in there, and really excited about the feedback we've gotten on this 105. It's really the bulk of that market, where the 112 could be, very a little bit more select on the when and where you can take that ski, and this 105 will ski all of it.
Awesome. All right. Well, next up, we can talk about Koala. Maybe just give a bit of an overview on the Koala series.
This has been an interesting evolution of DPS, and there's been definitely a skier type that appreciates a little bit more of a centered stance, and classically that hasn't really been what we focused on. But there is a skier out there that grew up skiing center stance that still can appreciate the turn, and we're not these are more playful skis, but they're not like a pure park or butter, or like, it is still appreciate the beauty of the turn. stay a little more center stance. Landings are, if we've really focused on how a ski is reacting laterally, what our Koala team is really focused on is really this other vertical direction of what's happening as you're moving back and forth, and a little bit more dynamic and playful and landing and spinning. And that's where we've learned a lot. And frankly speaking, the Koala 103 that we launched it with, it was kind of a hit right out of the gate. And I think we did a really good job in a style of ski that we haven't been really building in the past, and working with Dash Long and Santi and like, these guys are just really amazing skiers. But what they can do is also, they're like ski whisperers. They can really identify tiny little things that it's not my style of ski, but I've become a good listener and watching what they can do on these skis, and ski super aggressive, but in a more centered, playful stance. That's the concept of the line. So we expanded that. We've had a 103 and 118. Worked with Dash a lot on this 111, which has quickly become my favorite ski. It is just like, yesterday was really a good powder day, and that shape, the turn radius, the landings, and it is also in our little bit more classic construction. So there's carbon fiber in our touring line, in our free ride line, and in the Koalas, it is a classic fiberglass and a really high quality core in there. But we also have the 4000 series base, the same top sheet. Still a big focus on fatigue there, but they are a different price point. And we're doing testing right now on fatigue life. That carbon fiber is somewhere north of actually 3 times as long lasting in the spring, in the stiffness of it. But it is using a lot of expensive materials. These Koalas are under $1,000 with this attention to detail and shaping that we've been known for.
Yeah, interesting. And I mean, you've mentioned now that mount points have been moved forward a bit, maybe flex patterns have changed, materials have changed, so there's quite a bit of distinctions there. I mean, for you, like when you jump on it, do you find yourself like having to change your skiing style, or is it felt like pretty easy to just jump on?
We don't like to. You don't have to relearn how to ski it. And it is it's not that big of a difference. Our flex patterns are really, really, we labor over them. More so, what the ski is, we anticipate that anyone will be mounting these things in a wide range. Like, we spend so much time trying to dial in the mounting point, and then you see someone just like move it. It's like, come on, we spent 2 years working on that, and you just go But on the Koalas, we have a really wide kind of mounting platform on there. We have to understand that some people go true center and some will go way back. And that's where on our other skis, boy, there's a sweet spot on those, and don't mess with it. And please don't mess with it. But on these, it's been fun just to really experiment all around. And if you're not a truly center stance ski or two back and you're four back, it is still that playful. You still have a longer tail, and I've come to really, I think playfulness is center stance is one thing, but I really like landing on these, and that's where I've come to learn that tail is not just for go and switch or something. It's for just 4-point solid landings.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, from there, I guess just maybe talk about the models and the whole lineup.
Great. So the 103, we have done some changes on that, and what we don't like is when a playful ski means like purely soft butter tips and tails. Not us. That's not what we do. How people land on those is beyond me, and without just wheeling out. So we still carry stiffness into those extremities, but it's a lot about the rise over run, how you use that rocker and tip rise into how you access it. If it's too subtle of a ramp, it's kind of hard to get back on it. So we spent a lot of time just dialing in where in that kind of rocker armchair is most comfortable to both land and ollie. And so we made some changes from the original Koala 103, did did a lot of work on that tail, and then the overall flex pattern, and took it just one more notch more playful. So that is a little bit subtler changes on that one, but I think that tail was a great improvement, and it is. Yeah, I might be experimenting on. It turned so nice. We might go and experiment with one even narrower, just for fun on that.
Great bump ski or something.
Yeah. But and then that 111 is brand new for us, and we spent a lot of time dialing that one in and working on it for multiple years now, and it wasn't quite ready in our first launch, and so we took our time on that one and really psyched where that one has landed. It is amazing in powder. It's got a long rocker tip and tail, 18 meter side cut underfoot, and that tail profile is just that balance of a gas pedal and landing gear. So what Dash can do on that thing is just freaking hilarious. But and the 118, that one came out like a beast. The first one, and I know there's people out there that just appreciated how much of a beast that ski was, but it's a select few. We backed it off a little bit and a little bit more approachable by mere mortals, and that's in the shop. That's the one that's always out. This year has been great in Utah, and that's the one that the team and our employees take out when there's more than 4 inches of snow.
Awesome. And so I guess same as the Kaizen that we just talked about, we have unisex sizing here, so something for everyone.
Yes. So, and yeah, a little different take on the graphics than our classic kind of DPS palette, and getting out of our skin a little bit.
Yeah, they're nice. I mean, it's a subtle, but it's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to hear about the Kaizen, the Koala, and from there I just want to know a bit more about what DPS is doing in way of sustainability, and of course I know these skis are manufactured in the U.S., so what does that look like, and kind of how does DPS live out their values that way?
Yeah, I mentioned internally we've been saying DPS stands for durability, performance, and sustainability.
Yeah, that's not actually what it means.
No, but we're running with it. And
I like it.
And it is a little bit of a filter of like anything that we're coming out with, how does it fit in those 3 buckets? And we have not been afraid to innovate in a number of shapings and technology and just building skis in North America, and we have to say the price is the price, and it's like it is premium materials. We have some expensive taste, but that performance and durability is something we're really proud of. But the sustainability, what you don't see, and some of the decisions that we make, that okay, here's there's so much of our footprint has to do with transportation and where your materials are coming from, and our supply chain we've really questioned every single piece of our supply chain, and the last couple of years you can't have a conversation without mentioning supply chain, but really it's made us stronger and more in tune to differences that we can make in choosing certain materials. Also, packaging is something that we've been championing and been part of some really interesting developments that should be coming out here soon. But we have single-use plastics are just kind of the simplest way of making even just a small impact and going into we spend all this time making a beautiful ski, and then we go wrap it up like a cocoon. You can't see it, but it's the right thing to do for the packaging. It is a bio-based and biodegradable packaging. We've moved to just last week as you're shipping skis, they have to be perfect to the customer, and then 10 minutes later they're not perfect. And I want to help maybe change the expectations from the consumer standpoint as to what is acceptable. How much packaging do you have to use to make that perfect? And as soon as you drive it off the lot, it's just not perfect. But we're using felt spacers between the skis now rather than foam. Okay, small little things. Kind of our Kaizen philosophy is like, this is not going to change the world, but at least it's moving in the right direction and helping to really be part of industry panels and having those discussions as to what have we learned in some of our ambitions and having an open book with others as to just we got to get better. So the S is really important to us, and also, you know, just the fundamental. If you're going to build a ski in the U.S. and it's gonna cost something, it's got to last 10 years at least, and that's what we're proud of, is the longevity of these skis.
Great. Well, thanks for speaking to all of that and helping us also consider all the different sides that go into that, from consumer to, you know, how the ski is built and shipped and all of those different aspects. So, Thomas, thank you so much. It's been great to hear about the new stuff from DPS, what you guys are doing. And of course, we're so thrilled that you were able to come to this year's summit, and we can't wait to see you next year.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.